What is up, watch fam? I am Christian, the curator of the Theo and Harris watch shop. And today I am talking to you guys about the rich, accomplished, and very confusing history of the Rolex Explorer. Let's do it. Boom, watch fam. Let's start off with what we all know. Like the Day-Date is famous for winning the Masters, and the Sea Dweller accompanied James Cameron to the Mariana Trench, the Explorer was strapped on the wrist of Sir Edmund Hillary on his expedition to summit Mount Everest. Right? Wrong. But the story is more complicated than most think. Since the 1930s, Rolex had been testing watches on Himalayan expeditions. They aimed to develop a piece that would remain reliable even in these brutal conditions. Extreme cold and super low levels of oxygen. But these watches were not called Explorers, nor did they feature traditional Explorer traits like a 369 dial or Mercedes hands. They were modified Oyster Perpetuals. So what did Sir Edmund Hillary wear when he made history 29,000 feet in the air? Two pieces, a Rolex and a Smith's. Wow, I am. Smith's, a British brand, handed this remarkable advertisement opportunity, has since gone defunct. But Rolex acted quickly. They released the reference 6298 almost immediately, which was offered in a few different dial variations. The most popular variation resembled Hillary's watch closely, but now with a model name on which Rolex would build a legend: Explorer. Altitude is killing me. I'm hungry. The same year, they released the 6150 and the 6350. Both had the same movement, but the 6350 was chronometer rated and labeled Explorer, while the 6150 was not. But both references are the first pieces that truly resemble what we recognize now as the Explorer. Black dial, Mercedes hands, rounded Arabic numerals at 3, 6, and 9. A few years later, they released the 5504, which I have right here, and the 5700, which featured the date and, while beautiful, doesn't look like an Explorer at all. This 5504, which we just listed in Theo and Harris shop, dates to 1958. Its black gilt dial is original and stunning. Its gold chapter ring, which corrals the minute markers, has no breaks or spotting. The original lume that fills its markers and Mercedes hands has turned to a rich pumpkin color. In gilt, the dial reads Rolex Oyster Perpetual with a matching coronet, and in silver, Explorer and Super Precision. Its steel oyster case is in great condition, and we have it fitted on a straight ends beads of rice. We've owned a lot of watches. I have held and fawned over plenty of vintage Rolex. But this thing is amazing. It gives me chills. All right, let's move on with the Explorer story. 1 year after this piece, in 1959, the 6610 was introduced. This reference, while not quite as rare as its predecessors, is still quite uncommon, and they've picked up a lot of heat in the vintage market, typically trading between $21,000 and $30,000. Then, in '63, the 1016, which ran until 1989, when it was replaced by the first truly modern Explorer. All of these watches are great. Even the most common and technically least collectible examples, late 80s reference 1016s with matte dials, are still wonderful vintage Rolexes, pieces of that history that inspires us so much. But what about the Explorer inspires us so much? Is it his courage that we probably lack? His tolerance of pain? His knowledge of what lies beyond? Because while today the Explorer is just another steel sports Rolex you probably can't buy at an AD, its story, the type of man it honors, guides us, charts what we know of the world. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, go ahead and like it. And if you love watches, subscribe to our channel at Theo Harris. When he made history 29,000 feet above in the air. This is a maple tree famous for the smell of maple it exudes. And that is a blue jay, of course named after the mascot for the San Francisco Blue Jays. Charts what we know of the world. Thank you guys. The world. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is harder than exploring Mount Everest. This is harder than it. Go. Charts what we know about the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you. I'm gonna kick the camera. Now, let's go. Come on, I'm leaving. Come on.
No, you're finishing the video.
Ooh, went through my pants. Ow. Come on, Anna. You get them. Come on. Ow! Get me out of here. Seriously. No, I'm done. Going back to suburbia. I'm getting pinched everywhere. Bugs and chipmunks up my ass.
Oh, I know.
Okay, I'm more of a date guy, okay? Gold watch, mahogany books. In the unfortunate incident that you run into a bear on your exploratory journey, make sure you run downhill because bears infamously use the stairs. I think it wears super well. When it comes to dress watches, you know, things that are flat, dial heavy, as opposed to being broken up by a bezel. Sports watches with bezels usually wear a little bit smaller, but dress watches with a lot of dial can just wear like dinner plates. This at 39 millimeters, even though I'm used to 36 and 37, is awesome. It's definitely modern. You wouldn't mistake it for a vintage watch, but it does not protrude.